Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to yet another Above the Rim basketball thingamabobby as we take a look at um, the NCAA tournament that I set up with 64 teams, 48 previous champions from 1951 to 1999, except for 1997, which is stupid, but that's the way it goes, and 16 random wild card runners up who were that good. So we saw the 1955 San Francisco Dons, led by Bill Russell and Casey Jones, the first of two from San Francisco, take on the 98 Kentucky squad and beat them in six. The 1978 Kentucky squad, led by Jack Gibbons, beat the 1980 Louisville squad with Dr. Duncanstein, Gerald Griffith. The 1970 UCLA squad, one of many LA squads, well, the first one after Kareem Abdul-Jabbar went to Pro took on 94 Arkansas and swept them, of course, to my fucking annoyance because that's an Arkansas is my team. The 1982 Georgetown team that saw Fred Brown throw away the national title, if you will, got taken out in five by the 1979 Indiana State team led by one Larry legend, Larry Bird. The 1990 UNLV squad, who crushed Duke in the championship game by 30 points, got taken out in five by the 1976 Indiana squad, the last school to finish a season undefeated. 1959 Cal, they went to the finals. They won the title. They took on the 83 Houston squad led by Faisal Majama and them getting defeated by NC State of all teams. 88 Kansas with Danny and the Miracles. Danny Manning leading Kansas like a 4 seed to win the title in 1988. Takes on North Carolina, the 93 team that won thanks to Chris Webber's mistake, and they lost in five. The 65 LA squad swept the 1981 Indiana squad, who won the national title game despite the day of the turn of the final having Ronald Reagan being shot at by John Hinckley. Thankfully, though, he was okay, so they were allowed to complete the game. 91 Duke, led by Christian Laettner, who beat UNLV in the semifinal, shocking them, and then winning the final. They swept the 1958 Seattle Chieftains, who were the national champs and had Elgin Baylor on their squad. The 1983 NC State squad, the massive Cinderella, who had to win the ACC title just to get into the tournament, and then they almost lost to Pepperdine but then beating Houston in the final thanks to the Wittenberg, the Charles pass, quote unquote pass, and they took on the first LA squad to win the title in 1964, and they lost in 7 games. They had a 3-0 series lead, and they choked it. 1973 UCLA, the last hurrah of Bill Walton, took on the 96 Kentucky squad and won in 7 games. UCLA almost blew a 3-0 series lead. 79 Michigan State with Irvin Magic Johnson on that squad and Canadian Mike Verkovich took on the 53 Indiana squad, who were the national champs, and beat them in five. The 89 Michigan squad, yes, Michigan won a national title in 1989. Ramil Robinson, the hero. They took out the 1960 Ohio State squad. Well, it's weird, Michigan, Ohio State. They beat them in six, and of course, that had one Robert Montgomery Knight on that team. 51 Kentucky swept 57 Kansas with Wilt the Steel Chamberlain in his one and only season in college ball. That one. 56 San Francisco couldn't do what 55 did, so Russell Jones did lose. They lost to the 86 Louisville squad with never nervous Purvis Ellison. 87 Syracuse, the team that blew it to Indiana in the final, got taken out in six by 77 Marquette, the team that saw Al McGuire, soon to be NBC icon, and Butch Lee helping that team out. 1970 Jacksonville, the Dolphins, led by Artis Gilmore, who became a great center in the 70s and 80s. They took out the 93 Michigan squad in five, the Fab Five, led by five sophomores in 1993. Well, they were freshmen in 92, but sophomores 93. Jimmy King, Ray Jackson, Jalen Rose, Chris Webber, and Juwan Howard. Oh, I did it right without having to guess. Nice. 71 UCLA lost in 6 to 84 Georgetown, the team that Fred Brown finally got his title alongside Patrick Ewing. 61 Cincy, the team that won their first title in that year, they got taken out by the 82 North Carolina squad in six. Yeah, 82 North Carolina. So, yeah, that was big. Yeah, the 82 North Carolina squad, led by James Worthy, Sam Perkins, Jimmy Black, and MJ, Matt Doherty. They were taken on six. And of course, MJ making that final shot. 69 UCLA, the last season for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in college. Took out 66 West Texas Western, aka UTEP. You know, the team that made things happen with 5 black stars and won the national title game. And saw the SEC integrate. 52 Kansas with Claude LaFayette takes on 59 West Virginia and beats them in 6 games. So, yeah, West Virginia with one Jerry West. 74 NC State, they swept 66 Kentucky. That team with David Thompson and future baseball pitcher Tim Stoddard, and won the national title by beating UCLA in the semifinals, which was shocking because UCLA was going for their their 8th title in a row? Yeah, so they had one time. They beat 66 Kentucky with one Pat Riley on that team. 69 Purdue with Rick Mount, a good player who had a lot of points, but they lost the title game. They lost in 5 to Cincy, who won their second national title that year. 63 Cincy, who were looking for the three-peat, but lost to Loyola, beats the 57 North Carolina squad with Lenny Rosenblum in 5 games. 95 Arkansas that went to the national title game only to lose to UCLA in real life. Got swept by 85 Villanova, the 8th seed, the lowest seed to win a national championship. And of course, this is true because in the Final Four now, we have number 3 Illinois, number 2 UConn, number 1 Michigan, and number 1 Arizona. So yeah, so Villanova 85 winning the title 8 days before my birthday. I was born. 1954 LaSalle, the team that won the national title thanks to Tom Gola, took out the 99 UConn squad in 5. 58 Kentucky got taken out in 5 by 87 Indiana, the team with Keith Smart with that shot to win the title. 72 UCLA got taken out in 7 by 92 Duke. Duke was up 3 games to 9 and almost choked. That was the one season with Christian Laettner with the shot over Kentucky in the quarterfinals. 94 Duke, the team with Grant Hill and them trying to win a national title against my Razorbacks in real life, but lost. They got taken out in 6 by the 95 UCLA squad with Tyler Sandy, Cameron Dollar, and that asshole Ed O'Bannon. Well, if you are a college football / basketball roster editor like yours truly, you were pissed off with Ed O'Bannon, basically angry about the likenesses and all that, and that ruined college football in 2014. And then there were no games till 2025, and then 24, excuse me. College basketball hasn't made a comeback since 2010. 78 Duke that lost the national title game, lost in 5 games to the 1967 UCLA Bruins. 61 Ohio State taken out in 6 by 68 UCLA. So that's what happens. And 63 Loyola sweeps 75 UCLA. Loyola, known for having sister Jean, 106 years old when she died. Wow. Beats 75 LA squad, the last team with John Wooden main title. And in the round of 32, 62 Cincy shocks Tom Gola and LaSalle. 93 North Carolina sweeps 63 Cincy. 69 UCLA with Alcindor took down Larry Legend, to my annoyance. 95 UCLA with Edney and O'Banion took out Never Nervous Purvis Ellison in Louisville. 63 Loyola swept 82 North Carolina. Shocking that they took out MJ and crew. 77 Marquette. So cute. So cute. 77 Marquette with Butch Lee losing the 92 to Christian Laettner shot. 64 UCLA take down Magic. 1976 Indiana, that's me. Well, yeah, that the undefeated team got taken out by 74 NC State with Thompson and Stoddard. 67 LA lost to 68 LA. 55 San Fran swept by 73 LA with Walton. 68 LA with Alcindor with revenge after Houston beat them in the regular season. 85 Villanova forced a game 7 but couldn't beat 89 Michigan. Wow. 91 Duke swept by 70 LA. 83 Houston sweeping 65 LA. 87 Indiana swept by Jacksonville. 78 Kentucky swept by 84 Georgetown. And 51 Kentucky beat 52 Kansas. Sweet 16, the 68 squad, LA squad beat the 64 LA squad in 5. Jacksonville lost in 5 to NC State and David Thompson. Ewing and Brown beat Laettner and Co. in 84 Georgetown. 73 LA with a 5-game lead. Bill Walton taking out North Carolina. 69 LA sweepings 95 LA, getting rid of Ed O'Bannon once and for fucking all. 89 Michigan taking it in 5 over 1970 UCLA. 51 Kentucky sweeps 62 Cincy. And Loyola sweeps 83 Houston, taking out 5 Sloan Gemma. Quarterfinals, Michigan took on Kentucky. And all that 89 Michigan was down to against the 9 by 1 4 straight. 69 LA, 73 LA. Alcindor losing to Walton in 6 games. 84 Georgetown with Ewing and Brown. They lost in 6 to David Thompson and crew. And then 63 Loyola looked like they were going to win the series, but they lost to 68 LA. So it's the battle of the LAs. It's Alcindor versus Walton again, and Michigan faces NC State. All right, so the 67-68 UCLA squad, 29-1 in real life. They had 6 games with the 61 Buckeyes, 5 games with the 67 LA squad, 5 with 64 LA, and 6 with 63 Loyola. Alcindor 23.7 points, 15.5 rebounds a game, and 6.1 blocks. So this guy knows what he's doing and all that. Top 5 points per game were actually in what they call wins. Alcindor 37 points against Ohio State and Loyola. His best stats per game 23.7 for Alcindor, Shackelford 12.1, and Lacey 11.7 when he's playing. And all that. 73 LA, 30-0 in real life. Had a tough time with 96 Kentucky, almost got taken out with them. They took out 55 San Fran in a sweep. They took out North Carolina 5, and then 69 LA they took out in 6. Walton 18.6 points, 16.7 rebounds per game, and 4.8 blocks. He has the lead with 31 points against North Carolina one time. They had 87 points, the second most in the tournament, but they freaking lost to 69 LA. It was like, what the frick? Stats wise, Walton 18.6 points per game, Wilkes 12.9, Holyfield and Farmer 10.9 each. Okay, so yeah. And Curtis, the 5th starter, and all that. All right, so let's simulate. Game 1 goes to Walton, 73-70. 21 from Wilkes. Walton only had 10 points and 2 fouls. So they took him out. Curtis, 3 people in the 68 squad with 4 fouls. Alcindor with 21 points to lead his team. But they still lost. Game 2 sees Walton win again, 83-76. 24 from him in 34 minutes. 18 from Wilkes, 15 from Farmer, 18 each from Shackelford and Alcindor. Lynn fouled out after 32 minutes with 11 points. So in college, 5 fouls, you're out. Game 3 sees since Alcindor win 81-79 on their home turf. 18 from him, 17 from Lynn, 14 from Allen and Warren. In the meantime, 20 from Walton, 19 from Farmer, 11 from Holyfield. Game 4 sees Alcindor win 92-76, 23 from him, Warren with 20, and 12 off the bench from Heinz. 23 from Wilkes. Walton only had 18, Holyfield with 17. Game 5 is Alcindor 91-76, 29 from him, 24 from Warren, 14 each from Wilkes, Walton, and Holyfield. Are we 9-6? We are not. 73 LA wins 82-67, so 26 from Walton, 19 from Farmer, and no Alcindor. He actually got hurt, so he's not playing. Wow, that's actually shocking. But now we have a game 7. We will be broadcasting game 7 for you tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow we will broadcast game 7 for you. But in the meantime, let's go to the other semifinal, and we have 89 Michigan versus 74 NC State. 89 Michigan in real life 30-7, winning the national titles. They had 6 games with 60 Ohio State. Villanova took 7. Villanova just was pesky. 70 UCLA in 5 and 51 Kentucky in 6. Glenn Rice 22.6 points per game. Lloyd Fott 10.1 rebounds. Mills with the blocks. Rice 34 points against Ohio State. That was the high score. They scored a lot of points. 4 times they've hit the 100-point mark. That's pretty impressive. That's why 22.6 points per game for Rice. Fought when he's starting 13.4. Rumeel 13. Mills, Higgins, Griffin 19 starts. He plays 22 minutes, but he only gets 2.6 points per game. It's like, look. 34 NC State, 30-1 in real life. They were the team that took out UCLA and ruined their dynasty. They swept 66 Kentucky. They almost swept 76 Indiana, but lost game 4. But they won in game 5. Jacksonville took them to 5. Georgetown took them to 6. David Thompson, 21.8 points per game. Burleson, 10.5 rebounds and 5 blocks per game. Pretty good scoring, a pair of 100-point games. Thompson, 34 points against 76 Indiana. That's the high point. And he leads with 21.8 points per game. Burleson, 17.5. Tells, Rivers, Stoddard, 20 games. The future pitcher in the major leagues. I think it's covered with the Padres. I can't remember. 5.8 points per game. Buller's the only starter. All right. Let's see what happens in game 1. NC State, 77-76. Was that? It was. I'm sorry. Shoot. It was 77-76, and Stoddard took 2 free throws and missed, and Callup couldn't do the job. So box score wise, 19 from Rice, 16 from Robinson, 14 from Mills and Fought. In the loss, 5 fouls by Rumeel Robinson that ruined them. 22 from Thompson, 16 from Burleson. Stoddard only 1 bucket, but it mattered. 77-76. Game 2 sees Michigan win 98-96. 20 from Robinson, 19 from Rice, 19 from Mills, 17 from Higgins. Great job by them. No foul outs. 34 from David Thompson, 24 from Burleson. So they were fighting Burleson all day. Game 3 in Michigan. Well, Michigan takes it 91-75. 26 from Lloyd Fought. Rice only had 13 points. He only had 2 fouls. 16 off the bench from Higgins. 16. 20 from Burleson, 15 from Thompson. Rivers, no points. Game 4 sees NC State win 101-92. 35 from Thompson, 18 from Toe, 16 from Rivers. Burleson with 13-2. Stoddard fouled out through 19 minutes. Rivers fouled out in 34 minutes. 5 fouls from Higgins. 20 points, but he was out in 28 minutes. Rice, 26 points. Ramil, 19. 50 fouls in total. Wow. Game 5 sees Michigan win. 29 from Ramil Robinson. Yipes. Scored more points than Rice with 21. 18 from Burleson, 14 from Thompson, 10 from Hawkins off the bench. Your third best scorer. In game 6, sees NC State win 80-75. So we have a game 7 in that regard. 28 from Burleson, 16 from Toe. Thompson, only 9 points. He had 4 fouls. He was in trouble. Rivers fouled out with 5. Remember, 5 fouls are out. Robinson had 5 fouls and out. Fought Rice and Mills did go double digits. But that's it. We got ourselves 2 game 7s. Isn't that amazing? The semis just bringing game 7s. And we will have both game 7s for you tomorrow. I promise. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.